Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. My name is Mr. Maxwell, and welcome back to another chat about video games. With, of course, as always, Exile Magpie.
Hello.
We're in the 30s now.
Yay!
For these
regular content.
Regular programming.
Yes.
I know, right?
Shockingly
enough. Not a lot. To be fair, not a lot has gone on. I mean, we're going to talk about the only thing that really has gone on for the last week and a little bit. But I'm contemplating whether we start with that or we end with that, because there's only really two things that we can talk about, right?
I think let's start with some goodish news. Fall Guys.
Oh yes, Fall Guys is putting in an anti-cheat.
Yes, because especially on PC, it has been rampant. There's multiple of videos of people flying and just and it's a kids game. Why are you cheating on a kids game? It's all you're proving is that you're shit.
Yeah, you can't win without cheating.
And I don't mean if you can't get a crown. I mean if you can't get through round one, right? If you need a cheat to be able to even have a chance of getting through round one, you're shit.
Yeah, don't play the game.
You are absolutely shit.
The thing is, the people who do this, they're the same people who play Call of Duty and cheat on that.
Yeah.
They're the same people. If you can't play the game without cheating, then you're terrible at playing games.
Yes.
Let's just be honest. It doesn't take a rocket science to play Call of Duty.
Yeah, but think about it, how bad is that person's ego? How bad is that person's ego that they have to cheat on what is basically a fun little game that really does not take itself seriously.
Yeah, and it's not like you get anything.
Yeah.
For winning, you get a crown that you can spend in the store, and that's about it. And even then,
again, it's the entire game. None of it takes itself seriously.
Yeah. It's no one's going around being like, I've won 62 crowns on Fall Guys.
Oh, there are people doing that, and I look at them and going, really?
At least I'm not. I'm not doing that.
I won 3 crowns. I'm happy with 3 crowns.
I've won 2.
But
I'm very happy about that.
I enjoy playing the game. It's a fun game. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and the people that are taking this seriously really need to get their priorities straight.
Yeah. So that's good. Fall Guys getting an anti-cheat is fantastic. It makes it more fun for the people who clearly are not cheating.
Yeah, it means that those people who are playing the game legitimately, there's something in the way of, it'll start to deal with the problems that they're having in regards to people just flat out. Because this is the thing, the moment you know that person's cheating is the moment that you're like, well, I'm not going to win now.
Yeah. They're cheating. Speaking of cheating, actually, fairly recent, not fairly recently. Recently, I think it was last month.
Mm-hmm.
So the Valorant game.
Yes,
that's out at the moment. It's trying to make a big esports scene. So because obviously with COVID, they've not really been able to do a big massive thing for it. So they held an online tournament.
Yeah.
And what happened was,
let me guess. Did
someone
get banned?
Stream.
Did someone get banned?
Yeah, on this official proper tournament.
Someone got banned.
Someone got banned, right? Here's the thing. So the guy was clearly using an aimbot.
Yeah.
Cheat.
A hack.
Right?
Yeah, aimbot.
So he goes around the corner. The aimbot aims at the wrong guy. So not only did he get caught by cheating, he got banned. He also died because of his cheat.
Oh, karma. It's sometimes fucking amazing.
Here's the thing, right? If I'm going to cheat in a game, right, I'm going to cheat when it matters most. So, say we were in a tournament and the prize money was 50 grand.
Yeah.
That's when I'm going to cheat. Right? If I'm ever going to cheat, that's when I'm going to cheat. The prize money for this was $80. Seriously, it was because it was only like a little tournament. It wasn't really like this big thing.
I don't understand. I just look at it and go, how fragile is your ego? How fragile are you on level? Are you Donald Trump level of fragility? In that your ego can't take in even the slightest touch for it to shatter into a million pieces. Are you that self-centered and fragile in your confidence? Like you have to cheat at everything.
I just cheating. Don't do it. It's not fun. Ruins everything.
Look, I don't mind people cheating when it's just against the computer. It's perfectly fine against the computer because
well, cheats have existed for that.
Yeah, exactly for that. Yes. It's like when I used to play Pro Evolution. If I was losing against a computer, I would just quit and start again because
life hacks, people.
It's because fuck that. Especially anyone who has played FIFA understands. Like sometimes it's like, no, I'm not having that bullshit that happened for the last 5 minutes of the ball just pinging around forever.
Speaking of FIFA and EA,
yeah,
that's a nice little segment.
Nice segue into the bullshit and tomfoolery.
We mentioned this last week with Madden being, it was 0.4, so it was like joint lowest.
Yeah. No, it's 0.2.
It's now the lowest.
0.2.
It's the lowest rated game on Metacritic.
And then there was a hashtag trending NFL drop EA.
There is a hashtag. I've watched some streamers and I've also watched some videos of people playing the new Madden.
It's bad. Well, this is the thing, right? Apart from the extra shiny
everything,
graphics,
no, everything pushes you towards the new sort of yard mode that I've got, which you need to use, which you use the credits for, which obviously you need to pay to use the credits,
because of course,
or unless you want to do the ridiculous grind that FIFA has in.
Yeah,
that's, you don't have to spend money to get the card packs, but like you can just play the game and you'll get a little bit. Yeah, you'll get like 20 per game, and the packs are like 2,000.
Yeah.
It's basically that.
Yeah.
It's atrocious. Like, if I remember correctly, they wanted. One of them was like, it was like $18 for a colour. If I remember correctly, it was like $18 for a colour.
For $18. $18 for someone going into the file and bringing up the RGB thing and changing that.
Yeah.
That is what they're charging $18 for. And this is the thing. If that $18 went to the guy that did that, then it would still be egregious. But it wouldn't be as egregious as what it is, which is basically it goes into that and goes straight to the fucking shareholders.
Yeah. There was a couple of other things. It was ridiculous. For Madden, the Madden community, they've been asking for, like, basically make your own team. So it's same like FIFA when it comes to like career mode and that, like make your own team.
Yeah, like
start off from the bottom and build it up.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. They've been asking
for example, from another F1, Formula 2020.
Actually, that's perfect.
My team.
That's perfect example.
It's not the most in-depth team management thing, but like it's the basics are there and it's pretty darn. I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
That's actually the perfect example. Like that is something that I can imagine a lot of F1 like fans wanting in the game to do. And obviously, is it Codemasters?
Codemasters. Yeah.
Codemasters have put it in. It doesn't. That's the thing. It doesn't need to be the most absolutely. It doesn't need to be Football Manager. When you're doing all the.
No. It doesn't.
Nobody's asking for that. Nobody's asking for like in depth sort of create a team thing, right? So anyway, they've got Madden fans have been asking for that for like franchise mode, because I think franchise mode it's pretty much like you build your own thing, but you can only use the teams.
Yeah, you can only use the 32. The 32
so
teams.
They've been asking for this and all the like the create a character sort of thing. So if you want to do the career mode, you can make yourself instead of just the basic stuff that's in there.
The
right?
absolute shit.
The yard has all that stuff,
but that's where you actually spend money. But those features are not available on...
Those features, you can't use those features in...
So you can't make a character in the yard and use that character in...
By the looks of things, no. I haven't actually seen anybody do that.
In franchise mode. That's fucking shit!
That's one of them. That's one of the problems. There's a problem with...
Honestly, EA just need to fucking come out open and honest and just basically make everything free to play and just release what they want to, which is Football Ultimate Team and this yard thing. That's basically what they want to do, because they put no effort into anything fucking else.
Yeah, the gameplay's awful. Like the bugs. The bugs are. The worst thing is, like, these are bugs that were in like games from 3 years ago.
No, there were bugs in that game that were on the last generation.
Yeah.
The whole tackling mechanic, where you know how like every now and then, when we used to play Madden, every now and then you would try and tackle, and the guy would just go run straight forward and just flail around in midair and just fall flat in his face. That still happens.
Yeah.
That still happens.
Awful.
And the problem with especially FIFA and Madden is there's enough of a fan base that will just buy it because it's the new one.
Yeah.
And it hurts me so much.
I know.
Because I really, 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 really wish they would put... Because you can tell there is no effort.
Well, the thing for Madden is... they don't need to put any effort in. Nobody else can make a Madden game. True.
Yeah, they've got the license for that. That is very true.
So
the thing is, though, you can make an American football game. You just can't have NFL teams. Or...
I know. But
I think someone really should do that. And basically, what they should do is what what Konami did. With the Pro Evolution series on the PS2 generation, where basically they basically went, okay, we don't have the licenses, we'll have all random names, but we'll give everyone the option to edit everything: kit, badge, team name, player names, stats. They even at one point had stadiums. You can build stadiums, so just do that. Because then it's the community will just create community will create the NFL if they want to. And if you get a decent Madden game, a decent NFL American football game,
you can say NFL. It's the same thing.
If you can make a decent American football game and give the community those options, you're probably still not going to get as much of the fan base from EA's fan base, but
not from the start.
Not from the start. But you will take people away from EA.
Yeah.
And that means there'll be less people to spend money on EA's bullshit microtransactions.
Oh, microtransactions. We'll be getting. We're talking more about microtransactions.
Yeah.
I feel like especially next gen. I've got a
bad next gen, especially EA, next gen in their sports games, it will be advertisements in games.
Yeah, we'll be getting to that soon.
In actual gameplay.
And the response as well for Madden from EA, especially some of the developers.
Oh yeah, I remember when it was at 2. It was at a rating of 2.
2's better than 1.
2's better than 1. Yeah, and a D is better than an F in GCSEs or old school GCSEs. Yeah. But you try and get a freaking decent job with that. Yeah. Try and go to college with that. No, they'll throw it back in your fucking face. Yeah, but that's the attitude. They don't care if they shove out a piece of shit. Because they know the people that they're milking will buy it anyway. They know they'll do that. They'll know that it doesn't matter how shit the game is. And this is the thing. I am not a person that EA looks at and goes, these are the games we're aiming at, because football wise, I started with actual soccer, and then moved on to FIFA on FIFA 96 and 98. But then I got FIFA 2000, and basically that just threw me off the FIFA games. I got Pro Evolution, and the whole Master League drew me in. And then throughout PS2, I got basically Pro Evolution Soccer 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All the way up.
Yeah, and I got a couple on the PS3, and then Konami's Pro Evolution started being a bit crap. And then FIFA had gotten a little bit better, so I'd moved back onto FIFA. And FIFA 17 is the last one I had, and it's just... I'm done. I'm done. I'm fed up, frustrated, and pissed off that the only mode... And I know that they had career mode, they had a management mode, a whole bunch of stuff added. But it's not what I wanted. It's like there's only a finite amount of seasons.
Yeah.
Like it's not indefinite. It's like
it's not just that they added in. They added in, if I remember correctly, because this is what turned me off. They added in like you have to make sure.
Yeah, right. The thing is, when they mentioned it, like, oh well, you can't. It's not just playing games now. It's like you've got tasks that the board give you, and I'm like, okay, that's great.
Because that actually happens. They make no fucking sense though. Yeah, I started as manager of Blackpool, right, and I got in because I'm a Blackpool fan, just in case anybody's asking. We got in, started, and they wanted me to get... Right, by the way, we're in a League 2.
At that point.
League 2. We're a League 2 side.
So
at this point,
fourth tier.
I've gone in and I've said, right, I'm not going to use any of the cheats.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to use any of the... Not the cheats. I'm not going to use the... You know where...
You can buy...
buy-in. So you get a ton of money.
Yeah, you can start with a ton of money.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
As a Newcastle fan, I do that just so that I can say Mike Ashley sold the club. It's why I do it.
It's the only way it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I said I wasn't going to do that. I'm actually going to try and just build Blackpool from where we are.
Yeah. Invest in the...
They wanted me to get to the semi-final of the FA Cup. That was one of my things. Right, and then I looked at my squad. By the way, this is Blackpool. We've got no money, so I can't really... I could only buy one player. That's how much money I had.
Yeah.
And they just go, yeah, we want you to get to the semi-final of the FA Cup. I'm like...
Are you fucking kidding me?
Do you not want me to go for promotion? Nope. No, I'm not bothered about promotion.
Not bothered about
any of that. Get to the semi-final of the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Also, make sure that our T-shirts are being sold.
Yeah, it's like... It's
Why is that in there? That's not my job.
It's like... I had a strike force of Harry Kane and Sanabria. And Sanabria is one of those where it's like... He's like one of those... He was. I think he's not as much anymore, but he was like... years ago. One of those like... Buy this guy, hidden gems. Like he was decently rated. He was on a club that depending on which team you were, you could get for a decent amount of money.
Yeah,
and he turned into an absolute legend. Like, and Sanabria. So I had Harry Kane and Sanabria, and they wanted me to buy a first team striker. So someone more higher rated. Now this is like a few years in, so like everyone's stats has increased and decreased and all that. They wanted me to buy someone that was better than a 93 rated Harry Kane.
Yeah.
And a 95 rated Sanabria.
So
I'm literally like, what? You want me to buy Lionel Messi then? From Barcelona, who every time you look at him goes, yeah, no, we're never selling him.
Yeah.
It's just like, it made no sense. It was like I finished as the top with the most goals scored in the league, with the best goal difference. It was like and then it's like I've got one of the best midfields in the division. No, we want you to buy a world class midfielder now.
Yeah.
To put where?
Well, that's another thing, right? So, as I was manager of Blackpool, I didn't get to the semi-final, obviously.
No shot.
I got knocked out in the 5th round.
Which is actually not bad.
I was up against Man United.
Which is, again, not bad.
Right? I got beat 1-0 and they scored in the last minute. Right? So I got sacked. Right? But here's the thing. So I failed pretty much everything for Blackpool. Arsenal hired me. This is what I mean. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, there's not. You can tell, like not like up front, but like the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Nothing. There is very little.
The AI in sports
little,
games is unbelievably dumb.
It is very little in regards to career mode. Very little of effort is put in.
Yeah.
Like,
you could even argue that now for the actual gameplay.
And yeah, now starting for the gameplay, it's like they keep going on about like, oh, these new features. It's like, no, you had these features in like 5 editions ago.
Here's the other thing, right?
You just took them out.
These new features, like you don't even need those new features.
Well, no,
they're not features that make the game any better.
Right, no, right. For example, when the last, not this Madden 20 came out, and they made a whole big thing about game makers or whatever it was called. Basically, like the players that have
the skill things.
Yeah, right. That's available in Madden 13.
Yeah.
That literal thing is available in Madden 13. They took it out.
Yeah.
And then they put it back in saying it's brand new. It's like, no, it's not. And they do this over and over and over again.
See, I didn't think this was as bad because I just thought it was only really the sports games that are doing it. EA did it too, but once I found out that they did it to The Sims as well, it's like, oh Jesus!
Yeah,
I kind of don't want a new Titanfall game now because I'm afraid they'll take the Titans out and be like, look, it's new.
Yeah, we'll give you a new mechanic, a grappling hook. I know you already have a character in Titanfall 2 that has that. No, everyone gets it. Also, in other words, we're not having classes. No, we're going to have classes. Just all the same.
It's just
I don't think EA has come up with an original thing for at least 10 years.
No,
I really don't think.
But how long ago since Dead Space?
Well, that's at least 10 years.
It's like because when Dead Space was made, that was when EA were trying to release new games because like Army of
Dead Space, Army of 2, Dead Space, Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, that was when
that was the last. Yeah, that was the last.
That was when EA had its little initiative of like trying to make new games.
Yeah,
and it failed miserably because Army of 2, whereas it was a decent game, it just.
Well, no, the thing is, like, it wasn't that they didn't do well. They did well for like initial niche, like.
No, this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying for EA, in EA's mind, right? They failed miserably.
Yeah.
Right. That little initiative. Right. To me and you, we look at those first games. Apart from Dead Space, because Dead Space did a lot better than it really should have done. But like, if you look at Army of 2 and you look at Mirror's Edge, initially for us, we look at that and we go, "That's pretty decent for like a first game in the series."
Yeah.
That's okay. As a new IP, they're okay. Okay results, but in EA's mind, that's like no, they're complete failures. They didn't make it 150% profit, so therefore,
yeah, they didn't become like the greatest franchises of all time. And
then obviously they made Dead Space 2 and Army of 2. Oh, what was the sequel called?
I think it was. I don't know what it was called. I can't remember. I know we played it.
We did play it. I liked Army of 2. I thought it was a pretty decent game.
Army of 2 was enjoyable. It was raucous fun. It's one of those. It's again one of those games that none of the major game developers ever make anymore. Like your mid tier.
Yeah.
Basically, if you go off like off wrestling terms,
your Dolph Ziggler's.
Yeah, no, you're mid card.
Yeah, I'm saying you're Dolph Ziggler.
Your mid card. They don't do that anymore. They only do main event, and even then, like it's fucking Roman Reigns instead of the Fiend, or it's Roman Reigns instead of John Moxley.
Yeah.
It's lazy.
I think that is
it's lazy shit. no effort put in.
Yeah, I think that is the problem. The problem is that like none of like, especially when it comes to AAA games,
they want as much money for as little effort.
I can understand that they want like a big hit. So like Ubisoft's got Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
And I'd put maybe Watch Dogs Legion is going to be there.
Yeah.
Like a big hit, like what, and it's got Rainbow Six and it's got its Tom Clancy games, right? But there's nothing in Ubisoft's arsenal that I would say that like there's a little franchise there that's like its sole reason for existing is to keep the company going.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got Assassin's Creed, which is like that's our big hit. That's the one that we keep.
That's our flagship.
That's our flagship. That's the one that we keep.
Yeah.
And whenever we make a new game, we have that game. That is the game that blows everybody's socks off every time we release a new one. So like that's the game. That's what I'm saying. They don't have that. But like Assassin's Creed, in my eyes, would be the game that for Ubisoft that I would put up there. Like that's the game that gets like 5 years development.
Yeah.
So every game comes out, it's got something new instead of just a different skin and maybe 1 or 2 new abilities.
Yeah.
Right. And then I would have, if we are gonna have that yearly release one, you do the
Activision. You
do the actor. Yeah, you do like
have
Activision.
multiple teams working.
You have multiple teams working.
It's
on
the same. Yeah. It's the same franchise, but there's a 3. Well, there's supposed to be a 3-year cycle.
I would put, but Ubisoft. I don't think Ubisoft have that because Ubisoft usually make their own games.
They don't. They tend not to have an actual yearly release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of like there's nothing really there.
Yeah.
For Ubisoft other than those games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
big,
I understand the point. Is like
Activision has got Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But they've got 3 studios working on one game.
Mm-hmm. One
franchise. Sorry. So like fuck off.
Yeah, but that's the reason why they have 3, so that they can have their yearly release.
Oh yeah, I know. Then you've got EA, who is exactly the same, except they're even worse because they don't care.
Yeah, 1, they don't care, and 2, they don't have multiple studios working on one franchise. It's like, no, this is your franchise. You have 12 months to make it. And
I mean, I feel bad for Respawn at the moment because it seems like EA just shoving everything that isn't a sports game into Respawn.
Yeah.
And you have to make them, which means eventually Respawn's going to get to the point of like.
I think it does seem like EA still wants to eat Respawn, just that the usual tactic of making them do something that they're not comfortable with,
hasn't worked yet.
not promoting it, and then trying to sabotage it, hasn't worked
yet.
So what they're now trying to do is overwork them, and then maybe something will happen then.
Because BioWare's next. If Dragon Age doesn't do well, BioWare's next. I don't care what they say with that. Oh no, EA's not gonna do anything good to us. They've given us a promise, and it's fucking EA.
Yeah, EA saying we won't eat you is like a chairman of a football team saying we have full confidence in our manager.
Yeah.
In other words, you've got about one a chance to not fuck up.
Or when a football player kisses the badge. He's not leaving, he's just kissed the badge, he's gone. He is gone.
No.
He's already, in his mind, he has already signed that contract.
No, he's a born and bred. He won't go. He gets the badge last match.
He's gone. He is gone. Oh my god, and we're sticking on with EA now because we're going to be going into UFC.
So, EA have been trying to do this.
They've been trying to do this for a while.
It's just this is the most egregious that they've ever been.
This is the stupidest.
Like, for example, the Madden series tends to have like when the whole stats things, and in the presentation they do what's done in.
That's another thing in what is it? It's sponsored by in Madden. The yard it's got like in the back. It's sponsored. It's actually got a sponsor. It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh, the hairstyles are sponsored by Wilkinson's Sword.
That's the one. Yes.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh, that was Gillette. That was Gillette. It was sponsored by Gillette. The hairstyles were sponsored by Gillette, and I'm like,
why?
I mean, it's a parody of itself. It's like you care so little about the actual sport that you are making a game of. You care so little that you are literally becoming the thing people hate about that sport.
Yeah.
Like the whole corporatization, money,
advertisement,
and like NFL. Right, NFL would be much more exciting to watch if it wasn't for the stop-start and let's have adverts every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
In it, it would be so much more because, like, when it's a close game.
Yeah.
And teams go into the no-huddle offense, that game becomes so much more exciting.
Oh, yeah.
It becomes like, because it becomes more reactive and the pace picks up. It's like the slow, plodding pace of NFL because it has to have all these adverts in.
It has to have stop breaks and...
like adverts midway through a game and halfway, whenever there's a stop because a play's ended and they're swapping teams and there's adverts comes out. It's like I don't understand how.
That's the thing. Right, when it comes to the NFL, right, would you not? I would rather listen to the commentators analyze the last play, than and watch the players just swap over, than them go to an advert break.
I would rather that happen.
I think a lot of people would rather that happen.
I think a lot of NFL fans would love that. A lot of NFL fans would probably love that. A lot of sports fans would love that. But the problem is, so the NFL is not there for fans. The NFL is there for moolah, money.
It's there for advertisers.
It's there for advertisers because advertisers give them money. It's the same. The problem is the same in the Premier League over here in the football.
Yeah.
Money means more than the actual fan base, which is stupid because if there were no fans, if the popularity of the NFL or the Premier League fell off a cliff, all those sponsors, they would just fuck off.
Yeah, they'd go to the next big thing.
I mean, it's potentially already starting with a lot of sponsors wanting to get in on esports.
Yeah. And
here's the thing: esports, you can advertise a lot better in esports, and there's a lot like. I just think it's a like the game, especially FIFA games. They're parodies of themselves now.
Yeah. With
like the whole corporatization of stuff, and you can't. The best example. UFC.
Yeah, we're just gonna put adverts.
But they did it 2 weeks after launch. After reviews.
Yeah.
They put it in 2 weeks after the reviews because if the reviewers had seen that, they would have literally that would have negatively impacted on the review scores, and I hate that. I hate the fact that they deliberately do it because they know that it takes away from the gameplay. And these adverts are like, they're not like tiny little bars at the bottom.
No.
They are intrusive as fucking hell. And this is the thing. It's like, remember the outrage when Capcom with Street Fighter?
With like Ryu and Pepsi down his fucking leg.
Fucking Dulcian was a fucking sponsor on one of his skulls. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and I know there will be people defending EA, well, that's what UFC do actually in real life with the sponsors, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, but the thing is though, is that you're not paying 60 quid for a UFC fight.
No.
You're paying what, like $20?
I think it's $20, yeah.
You're paying like $20 max for a whole bunch of and it's like and I guarantee you UFC 4 is probably very similar to UFC 3. There's probably a lot of similarities. There's not going to be a lot of work done on it.
No.
And it's just, oh my god! And this is not new. It's just more in your face and egregious. Like, Burnout Paradise had actual billboards. A lot of the time they've tried to
try to incorporate it actually in
to make so that it makes sense in the game world that they're doing. For example, advertisement boards in Burnout Paradise, for example with FIFA, the stadium's advertising boards actually have actual adverts.
I tell you a game that did do it. Akiba's Trip.
Yeah.
Or Strip. I can't remember. It's the game where you strip
Yes.
your opponent.
You're fighting vampires.
You're fighting vampires. You take the clothes off. They burn in the sun.
Yeah.
The advertisement in that, because it's set in Akihabara, they use the exact
the exact adverts that
were shown in Akihabara at the time, on the exact area.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool.
That makes
okay.
more. It makes more sense in a way to do it that way. It's the way EA do it. It's like I'm just waiting for them to literally pause the game to have an advert thrown in your face.
Yeah.
I mean, 2K, NBA 2K had basically a full frigging 5-minute advert. You had an ad before you could start a match. And I'm like,
5-minute advert.
How are you so like? Why is all this money not enough? Why is all these like microtransactions and fucking bullshit mechanics that force you to play?
I don't know why you're charging me £60 for an advert. But that's what it is now. It's like we pay them to advertise to us.
Yeah,
that's how this is. That's
how it is.
That's how ridiculous this has become.
Yeah, it's like I don't. It would be like buying a freaking movie and having a non-movie trailer in it.
Yeah.
Because I remember in the old days when there was videos, they would actually have movie trailers.
Yeah, basically
at the beginning.
Yeah,
they were basically like, these are the new films that will be coming to video soon.
Yeah.
So it was basically the same sort of stuff that you were getting from
the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days.
VHS.
But it just really, really annoys me that EA, no matter what anyone does, EA always finds a way to make it more egregious and more complete and utter douchebaggery.
I know.
And I know it's deliberate. They deliberately go this far because then when they back down to where they want to be, everyone will go, "Oh, well, isn't that nice? They've listened to us." No, they haven't.
It's not as bad.
It's not as bad.
Yes, it is.
No, it is. It's terrible.
Just as bad.
EA's fuckery of the FIFA Ultimate Team, the bullshit that game is, like, it's just like that mode seriously should be a free to play. That mode literally should be free to play because it is a free to play fucking mechanic game. Oh yeah,
it's a mobile game.
That is, yeah, it is literally
a mobile game.
It's a literal mobile game. But no, they want not only you to pay for the game, they want you to then pay for a whole bunch of cards.
Yeah.
Which then they want you to pay again exactly a year later because all those cards you bought prior don't count anymore.
It is. Oh, EA, man.
Honestly, I mean, yes, I would feel very sorry for all the underlings, all the lower staff.
Yeah.
But if EA literally ceased to exist, I would not shed a tear.
Aye.
For two reasons: one, they deserve it, and two, the people responsible would probably end up in like Activision and fucking elsewhere with their golden fucking parachutes.
Yeah, they would. Ugh. But anyway, yeah.
Yes, there has to be a point where literally this all comes crumbling down on them because it can't continue.
It is going to. Eventually, it's going to get to a point where it just can't. People are just going to be like, no, and we're getting to that point now.
Yeah,
I think we're starting to get to that point, because like even the casual gamers now. The people who do buy that game every year because it's the new one.
It'll be interesting for this FIFA because there was a lot of backlash last FIFA over like the shoddy implementation.
It's going to be just as bad. It's going to be just as bad.
Yeah,
because FIFA needs the next FIFA needs to come out in 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, it needs a massive overhaul.
If they were doing like the free team situation.
Yeah.
For a yearly thing for FIFA, so each FIFA is actually feels like a new one every year, then fine. But we all know that's not what they're doing.
That's not what they're doing.
They're just taking,
last
year's
year's
model and pacing it up a little bit, and then adding maybe one or two things,
and then taking out a whole bunch of other things that people liked.
That's all.
For example, create a team.
Yeah,
they actually had a create a team. They actually had edit options. They had it on. This is the thing. Like they had, I think FIFA 07 had a create a team on the GameCube.
Yeah,
it had a create a team mode. You could actually create a team on a game on like the same generation that the GameCube came out.
Yeah,
and there are no customization options. There's none. Why? Because that would take time and effort.
Yeah. And
they don't want that.
No.
They just want another year to sell everyone their fucking loot boxes. They want everyone to go to their casino in Football Ultimate Team. That's what they want. And it pisses me off because the sport games are the ones I used to enjoy the most. I used to really, really enjoy playing sports games.
Well, I have had a thing against EA since Dead Space. Yeah. They killed Dead Space 3.
Yes,
they killed that game.
They did.
Because of what they wanted. And ever since then, I've kind of been... Like, I have openly stated that EA are the worst. Like, openly, because they will kill their own games.
Yeah.
They will just kill them. For no reason.
Well...
Other than for the fact that they believe it'll make them more money.
Not even that. It's because they don't want... They want to basically get rid of a studio.
Yeah.
They don't want to spend the money on a studio. So therefore, what they'll do is they'll deliberately torpedo it.
Yeah.
They'll deliberately sabotage their work, their games. They'll force them onto stuff they've never done before. And then when they stop performing, then they go, oh, well, we can't afford to keep you open. Bye.
Right. Anyway. Enough about EA and their shoddiness. Let's talk about. I have been playing Avengers.
Yeah.
I've only played the story mode.
Yeah.
And I'm about, I'd say quarter of the way through.
Mm.
I'm doing all right. It's all right. The single player, at least, I'm having fun playing the single player.
Kamala is actually...
Kamala is adorable.
Yeah, I was about to say, I've not actually got it, so I've been watching other people play the story and campaign. And Kamala is
adorable.
Yeah,
she is... Because especially at the beginning, she kind of like... Because it's Avengers Day, and it's like this big sort of... like there's like this big sort of convention.
Yeah, she's a massive geek.
She's a massive geek. And the way I look at it is like... If this was DC and DC was real and Batman was real and they had a big Justice League thing for people to go to, that would be me. That would be me. Like, just straight up me.
Like, how old is Kamala?
At the beginning, she is... I want to say...
Because she's not that old. She's like teenager.
Yeah, I think she's...
18?
I think she's 16.
Yeah.
I want to say she's 16.
Yeah, as your older brother, I can literally say if Justice League, if DC was real and the Justice League, there was a Justice League Day, that would be you.
That would have been me.
That would be you, literally.
That'd be me now.
It's been a few years since then, but yeah, I like Kamala. She has. I mean, there are issues with in-game play. Quotes and comments and that.
Yes.
They repeat and they do them a lot, and it
of what I've seen, that seems to be more multiplayer than single player. Because single player is the talking kind of happens not a lot while the fighting's going on.
So it might be just multiplayer.
It might be just multiplayer.
Because what I've seen, like especially Tony Stark, Iron Man is the biggest bugbear though, so it may be once you get into Iron Man, maybe.
I'll probably be getting to him later because I plan on going back on.
So yeah, but like apart from that, but like in the cutscenes and the actual like storyline dialogue, it's really well done.
Yeah, I'm actually interested in the story. The story's pretty good. I mean, unfortunately, it does involve Inhumans, and that's therefore automatically, and it doesn't matter if you are a comic book fan, you know this as a fact. Inhumans suck.
They're a poor man's mutant.
They just suck entirely.
They are a poor man's mutant.
The story's pretty good. I've got a feeling that MODOK isn't actually the big bad. I've got a feeling MODOK is the final boss. I just don't think he's the big bad. I think it's because they've got the person who turns into MODOK, and he's with somebody else.
Yeah.
And they look to be more like the brains behind the operation,
right,
when it actually comes to what they're doing. Or at least she's told him something, but she actually has this other thing in mind.
Yeah.
So she's tricking him.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Okay.
So that looks good. 4 is my favourite. I really like using 4. Just chucking the hammer and then bringing it back, and then
just basically kicking ass with Mjolnir.
Yeah, it's really good, and the sound of the hammer.
Yeah,
they've definitely improved that. I think, at least from the beta and from the trailers that we saw.
Yeah,
the sound is a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Nice meaty connects when Hulk punches somebody, which is what you want.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of problems with the fighting. Although the sound is fine, the reactions to some of the bad guys are a little bit off for me.
They don't.
So, as I was Hulk, I think you watched.
Yeah, I was watching you doing it.
I punched a guy. Right now, if the Hulk punches you full strength, you're going flying, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
You're going.
Unless you're someone like Abomination or Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you're going... Whether you want to or not, the nearby wall is your end destination.
Yeah. And so it punched this guy, and he just kind of, like, collapsed. And it's... Okay.
Yeah, there's a distinct lack of weight.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is something that unless they actually go into the code, and you're going to have to maybe update the game a lot more than you would with just sound.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, that's not going to be something that can change easily.
No.
Same with Mjolnir. The hammer.
Yeah.
The hammer's kind of the same. Although, I will admit, it's a lot better with 4, because especially if you throw the hammer and you knock the guy out as your hammer, you'll just take him and you'll pin him against the wall. Which is nice.
So, it's a bit hit and miss. So
it's a bit hit and miss. The thing is, the way I look at it, because I like live services, and I've experienced this with Destiny.
Yeah.
Like, I can see, as long as they put the work in, which they clearly are going to do, because they've set out what they want to do and what they want to add in, who they want to bring in. I think it'll be a decent game. I think it's going to be a decent little game. They need to work out, because I have seen the flaws in the multiplayer. They definitely have to work that out.
Yeah.
They need to sort what they want to do with the multiplayer, because I think, if I'm honest, I think I would prefer a multiplayer story mode instead of just a single player one.
An actual multiplayer campaign instead of just
as much as I like the campaign that I've got, I didn't think it was going to be a single player. I think that's what it was. I thought we were going to have like a 4. You could either go, so sort of basically like what they've said with Gotham Knights. You can either be single player and use all the characters, or you can have a co-op.
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad is as well. Yeah,
well, they said you could either be one player and switch between all 4, or you can go in as a team of 4.
Yeah.
It definitely seems to be a game that they should have probably worked on a little bit longer than they have done.
Yeah.
And I'm getting really tired of live services coming out and then basically going, oh well, in 6 months' time it'll be great.
I have read a couple of articles that have been like that. Well, we should have expected this because of the way Destiny came out, and then look at Anthem, and then look at this game, and look.
Yes, and first things first, Anthem is still shit.
Anthem is still shit.
Destiny nearly died. Destiny 2 nearly died. Its fan base was literally on life support.
Yeah.
Let's be all honest. As a person that has dropped into Destiny
as a Destiny fanboy,
yeah,
because I play it virtually every day.
Yeah,
I think I can call myself a fanboy.
Yeah,
Destiny's fan base was dire at one point, and it was deserved. Like, it was a straight up deserved thing. They ruined it.
So like especially with the fact that there's already so many live services out which have had years of development on them. If you're gonna bring out a live service game, you're gonna have to have it feature complete.
It needs to be good.
It needs to be.
My thing now is my line is Warframe, because Warframe is a live service.
Yeah.
And it's free.
Yeah.
So my line for live services is like, your game has to be as good as Warframe.
Yeah.
It has to be as good as Warframe. Because if it's not, then no one's going to pay. I disagree with paying that money. I mainly only bought Avengers so that we could talk about it today.
Yeah.
I'm actually pleasantly surprised.
It's better than you thought it was going to be.
It's better than I thought it was going to be after all the reviews that I'd read about it. But by the looks of things, it is the multiplayer that's the big contention.
And that was going to be the big. That's the thing. It's going to be the multiplayer is the big selling point.
The multiplayer is going to be. They need to fix the multiplayer.
Yeah.
They also need to add in, because by the sounds of things, multiplayer is very repetitive. It's a lot of go over here, stand here for 30 seconds.
Go over here, fight this.
Fight this. It needs to maybe change up.
Yeah,
which, by the sounds of things, because I don't think they've brought them in yet, but they're going to bring in, I think it's called AIM or Hive. So they're basically going to be like mini dungeons.
Yeah.
So you go in and do stuff.
I would have at least. This is the thing. This is why I think they shouldn't have released it now. They should have kept it all. They should have had some of this for launch, so that people can do the
campaign.
Do the multiplayer mission, and then once they're comfortable working together, go into a dungeon and do something.
Yeah. I totally agree. I totally agree.
I don't. I think the time of people giving live services a 6-month reprieve from launch of we'll give you a chance to get better. Anthem has taken all that and thrown it in a bin.
Yeah.
Anthem and Fallout 76 have literally burnt too many people for people to say, yeah, we're going to give you 6 months from launch. It's like, no, you're going to have to show us something to give us the reason to hold on to
I think that's why I gave Avengers the benefit of the doubt. Because I think before launch they did show us stuff.
Yeah.
And even though for me some of the stuff did look iffy,
yeah, I
did sort of been like, well, you know what, with Fallout we got absolutely nothing to release, and Anthem just basically lied to us.
Yes.
Whereas Avengers at least have been honest with us, and they have been listening to the criticisms, and they have been listening to the fan base. So
I'm just making the point,
oh yeah, I know
that for a live service game, you're not. I think a lot of people have woken up to the fact you're not guaranteed that 6 months development.
Yeah.
Anthem is in limbo.
Yeah, Anthem's getting completely restructured.
It's getting but the thing is, they're gonna get a 2.0, but we don't know when they're gonna get a 2.0.
Aye.
We don't know when this.
It's not next year now. By the sounds of it, it's going to be 2022.
That game will be dead by
so
then.
You might as well just rename it.
You might as well just make a new game.
Yeah.
You might as well. You might as well just pull the plug, because if it's going to take that long for the game in that state, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I'm surprised. I am honestly surprised EA hasn't pulled the freaking plug on that game yet. But it sounds like they're potentially going to.
Yeah.
Because it looks like they're taking people away from Anthem development and putting it onto other things, which is usually a good sign of like, this game's not going to last for too much longer.
And on to the last couple of things. The things that I've really... Monetization for Avengers.
It's terrible.
Because it is bad.
It is
bad.
Egregious. That's how bad it is.
They need to
egregious.
change. They need to change
the fact that there's a separate season pass for each and every character needs to go now. It needs to go. You need to get rid of it right now. Because that is... It's not even like...
I'd rather pay for DLC. I'd rather buy expansions.
Yeah. It's so greedy.
Yeah.
And I know they turn around and say, well, there was so much effort put into each expansion, each character's season pass, and it's like, doesn't matter. You're asking for fifth at the moment.
I paid
$60.
I paid
for a game that's already had $60 paid for it.
Yeah, I paid $45 for the Avengers.
Yeah, and how much are they?
And I had to look for that. Like everywhere else was selling it for like £60.
Yeah.
And I found it for like £15 off. I think it was because it was the release day and they wanted to get rid of it. So I do, because there's some shops over here, especially the non-gaming shops, like toy shops will do it. Smiths, they do this. The odd shops, when a release game comes out, they'll put the price down a little bit because nobody really goes to Smiths for video games. No. For one. So they'll put the price down a little bit just to get them out the door, so that they're not crammed at the back. So I managed to get it cheap. In that sense, cheaper.
Yeah. So how much are the season passes in the UK?
The season passes usually are around about 10 quid for a battle pass.
So they're asking, because this is the thing.
And there's 6 characters. Yeah. So
people can argue, well, just get just get your favorite character. The thing is like,
that's not how. This is right. This is what I actually wanted to talk about when it comes to this. Right. When people are being like, oh, well, only get the one battle pass. That's not how a live service works.
Yeah.
Like, people who play live services like me, we don't just want one lot of things. We want everything. Like, it's a looter. Like, live services and looters go together hand in hand, right? You don't just go into that game and think, I only want this certain stuff.
Yeah, it's also like this structure is not aimed at the average person. It's aimed at the collectors.
Yeah,
like the collectors want to collect.
It's aimed at me.
Everything.
It's aimed at people like me.
They want to collect everything, all the costumes, all the unique and different things that they
want like the original Iron Man costume that you can get in the game. They want the Joe Chill Hulk. They want the Hydra Captain America costume.
Yeah, they want the World War Hulk.
They want the old school Black Widow stuff.
Old school Thor costume.
Yeah, they want that stuff, right? And they've deliberately put that stuff behind the paywall.
Yeah,
and this is
why Insomniac at the moment I'm really enjoying Insomniac stuff.
Yeah,
because with the Spider-Man thing. The amount of costumes you had to unlock in the base game before they added anything else was ridiculous, and it was like all these cool costumes that if you were well into your Spider-Man lore, you would recognize each costume and where it's from.
Yeah.
And then they started going, and then people were going, "Oh, can we have the?"
They wanted the new Spider-Man costume.
We wanted the new Spider-Man costume, but we also wanted the original trilogy, the first trilogy with.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. Yeah. That we wanted that trilogy Spider-Man.
And they just put it in.
And they just put it in, and it's like, holy fucking shit! But this is the thing. Games used to be like that. They used to have multiple costumes that you could unlock during gameplay. Ratchet and Clank is a prime example with the ship.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank.
From Ratchet and Clank 2 and especially Ratchet and Clank 3, as you completed challenges, you could change the way the ship looked.
Yeah, you got like new paint skins,
new paint skins,
new body types.
You could change. There were multiple different nose points and wings and cockpits, and each one it was individually changeable.
And you could get different costumes for Ratchet.
Yeah, you got different costumes for Ratchet, and I miss that. I don't mind cosmetics like added as like DLC, but if you're gonna do that, give us a decent amount of cosmetics.
Yeah.
In game. For launch, give that I can go and unlock without having to pay for, because the argument of it's just cosmetic basically ignores the point that what people want in their game is for their avatar to look unique.
Yeah.
They want their avatar to look different to everyone else. That is why it is so... Why everyone cares about... The only thing in Overwatch they care about is the skins they can get. Why people spend hours making their characters in Skyrim and Fallout and Final Fantasy and...
Well, any role-playing game.
Any role-playing game.
Gives you a
why... I mean, if cosmetic appearance didn't matter, they wouldn't sell it.
Well, I mean, look at Dark Souls. There's Fashion Souls.
Yeah, Fashion Souls, Warframe, Fashion Frame.
Yeah.
If Anthem had actually been good,
yeah,
that would have been
most likely. That would have
Destiny. Destiny's the same.
Oh yeah, Destiny. I am quite notorious for constantly changing the way my guy looks.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, you always want your guy to go in like proper bright pink.
I'm always pink, although I'm not at the moment. I'm dark green at the moment.
I go with I want my Titan to go with Imperial.
Well, yeah,
Roman, not just any purple, Roman purple.
I will always go around and try and find new ornaments for my hunter.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, especially in the live service, having your guy look as unique as possible to stand out as this is my character is a really important thing.
Yeah.
And it is a disappointment that the cosmetics are only available through a paywall.
Yeah. There's some really... my other thing about the skins is a lot of them are just like the same skin but a different colour.
Colour swaps.
Yeah.
Palette swaps.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like, come on.
Really?
There's no need for that. That's just silly. I think there's 4 Joe Chill costumes for the Hulk.
And they're all the same costume.
They're all the same costume, just different colour.
And it's like... it just disappoints me when that happens.
It does, yeah.
It really disappoints
because there's tons and tons of costumes for these characters.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to do that. But I think that's pretty much my big criticism for the game.
Its monetization is terrible.
Is atrocious. It's one of the worst I've seen in a live service.
Yeah, it's probably the reason why I haven't got it.
It is. It is something that I hope they fix. Because I don't want to be. Yeah,
they need to look, especially on the season pass. They need to look at that and go, yeah, that's not.
I mean, even if they were to go right, this is what I would do if they were going to do that. It would be like, if you're going to have the battle passes, just add it into the expansion. Release expansions. Yeah. So kind of like, I mean, I know I'm adding them in again. This is what Destiny do.
Yeah.
If you buy the expansion, you get the battle pass.
Yeah.
With it.
You get this. Yeah, you get the battle pass with it, which comes with a whole bunch of.
It's a whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah.
But you haven't spent an extra £10 on that whole bunch of nothing.
The thing now, and it annoys me that it's taken this long, but Destiny 2 now has enough cosmetic customization stuff in the base game.
Yeah.
That I don't mind extra customization stuff being added extra for a small fee. I don't mind it when don't mind it when I've already got a lot.
Well, that's changing because they want people to less use the Eververse store.
Yeah, they want to basically have everything available. A lot of everything you can get can be got in game.
Yeah,
which I love. I love that. I love that option. I love that ability, and I want more games to do that. Like, because for example, going back to Spider-Man, if they had said after I'd finished the main campaign that, oh yeah, for about £5, we're gonna give you like 10 skins, 10 costumes, and it'll be like the movies, all the movies, even the really, really terrible 1960s ones. We'll give you the 1960s ones,
we'll give you the Japanese one as well.
Yeah, we'll give you the Japanese one, like all the movies for about £5. We'll give you all of them, because it doesn't do all it is like a costume design.
Yeah,
and that's it. It's not there's no mechanics added to it. There's no
so kind of like what the Arkham series did, because I think what they did with that was you could get like different Batman costumes.
Yeah, and then they released,
it was like £8, I think.
I think it was the anime version they released.
Yeah, which is the only reason why I bought that.
Yeah, the animated
because I was
series.
like, I want the animated series.
You
Batman.
want the John Conway animated series Batman, because
you mean Kevin Conroy?
Kevin Conroy. Oh, I said John, didn't I? Oh,
John Conroy.
Oh, whoever that guy is. Anyway, Kevin, the chin.
Yeah, the square chin.
The square chin. Batman.
The only thing that would have made it better was if they gave us the animated series Joker. Because I would have started the game again
with proper Mark Hamill Joker.
Yeah. But yeah, sort of like that. Yeah, I just think,
because this is the thing, right? Like, selling extra costumes gives the graphic designers, the people who don't work on the mechanics, gives them something to do.
Yeah.
Instead of like, we'll wait for another game to come out. I mean, I don't know how work is divvied up in a major gaming company. Because it could be the case of like they go instantly onto the next game, but especially if you have a team that's solely on like Avengers. If there's a team solely dedicated to Avengers, there's obviously a graphics artist or a few graphic artists that are solely on Avengers. So like, especially at the end of what they do, if there's still development, it's like, no, just start making costumes.
Start making costumes.
Start making costumes, and we'll put them into the game.
Yeah.
Just start making loads and loads and loads and loads of costumes. Like we'll all.
Or just give them a load of comics. Go find some cool costumes from them, design them for the game.
Yeah.
There you go.
And put them in. That's all they needed to do. But no, it's like, no, we have to put them behind the ring. We have to have more money potential. It's like, fuck off. Just make a game and sell it.
I think the big disappointment for me is like, this is Square Enix, and Square Enix were coming back.
Yeah.
You know, they had Kingdom Hearts, and they've had Final Fantasy VII Remake. You know, they were working their way back up to being. Yeah.
They weren't as Final Fantasy VII. I think the thing is, though, if they'd done something like this to this level with Final Fantasy VII Remake, there would have been a
no. That's what I'm saying. Like, they were coming back as a company that you could look at and be like, yeah, they actually care about their fan base.
Yeah.
You know, because the Kingdom Hearts game and Final Fantasy VII being the thing, and Final Fantasy 14 with Shadowbringers and the new updates to that, and how well how well they listen to the fans.
Oh, especially in 14.
14.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Square Enix, they were coming back to prominence.
Here's the thing, though.
And then this has happened.
Here's the thing. The question I would like to ask. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Japanese studio.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts,
Japanese studio.
Final Fantasy 14,
Japanese studio.
Avengers,
Crystal Dynamics,
which are,
I think they're American.
Exactly.
I know, but
I'm not saying. This is not absolving.
Yeah,
Square Enix.
It is still.
I'm just like it's quite a coincidence.
Square Enix is still the one that pulls the trigger at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, no, they get all the they deserve the shit that should be thrown their way over this. I'm just saying, like, the one company out of the games that I've just mentioned, made by an American company, is an American developer, and it's the one with the most egregious monetization. And it's like, it is almost like it's. And don't get me wrong, there are Japanese companies Konami.
Yeah, Konami is one of them.
And Capcom have their issues. Namco Bandai, they all have their issues. It's not like an American thing. I'm just saying, like, I find it coincidental.
I think it's the live service model.
Yeah,
because the live service model is a very Western.
It's a very Western.
It's a very Western thing. I haven't seen any, at least in my experience, I have not seen any like Japanese or Eastern gaming companies do a live service.
Yeah.
Or if I have, I didn't recognise it because they do it completely differently. But it is what it is.
That's a saying that's been said about a lot.
Unfortunately, it is that way though.
It's still
all we can do is call them out on that.
Call them out on the bullshit.
That's all we can do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If they choose not to listen to the fan base and listen to people who are criticising them, then that's on them.
Yeah, and the thing is, then it's back onto the fan base to actually.
Well, no, because that's the thing. Like Anthem has proved.
Yeah.
That like you can't especially when it comes to live services, you cannot just ignore the fan base.
Yes. No, what I'm saying is like with Anthem, yeah, I totally understand that. But we're not talking about like Anthem didn't have a pre-built fan base.
That's very true.
While the Avengers does with Marvel fans.
Yeah.
And it's like if the fan base turn around and go, no, this is bullshit, don't do this, but then go like. But then still load up the game and play and pay the money, then it's not going to have the effect that they want because Crystal Dynamics are just going to go, well, you're still buying it. You're still buying it. You're still playing the game. You're still buying the stuff. So why?
Yeah, I'm not going to be paying for any.
The bottom line is this, and I think to end on this incorporates everything that we've discussed today.
Yeah.
Right. Madden, FIFA, UFC. Avengers monetization. If people stopped buying this shit, it wouldn't be in it.
Yeah.
And I think it's down to the fan base to start fucking realizing that. Like, if you think this is bullshit, don't buy it. Do not promote it. Don't go, well, it's shit, but this. No. If you don't agree with this, and you are vocal about it, don't then go and spend that money on the thing that you've just complained about.
I totally agree.
Because that's the only way, that's the only thing that these companies care about. Money. And they will do things that will keep getting them money.
Yeah.
If something starts not getting them money, they'll stop.
But yeah, Avengers, it's a decent game. At least the single player is anyway.
Yeah. The microtransactions kind of.
Microtransactions is just it. Like I said, it's a decent game, and I think if it wasn't for the microtransactions, there wouldn't be. I wouldn't have this sort of like. Because I'm torn between saying play it if you're
a Marvel fan.
If you're a Marvel fan, but like I don't want to be like.
The monetization is that bad that you don't.
I don't want to say that because
you
of the
don't
monetization.
feel comfortable saying that it's a good like buy this game.
Go buy that game.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I paid for it because one, I'm not a reviewer, so I don't get review copies of games. And two, I wanted something to chat about.
Yeah.
Today, and I didn't want to just go into this and be like, Marvel sucks, even though I haven't even played it.
Yeah, and
I don't want to be that person.
We have been talking about the
Avengers we did follow this all the way through, so I figured we might as well finish it off with this. So yeah, and like I said, I was pleasantly surprised by the single player.
It was better than you thought it was.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm torn between saying get it or don't. Because I do want to say get it because it is a little decent game.
It's going to be one of those games where it's potentially it's promise and its quality is going to be affected by the monetization.
Yeah, I personally think that the single character £10 pass is going to get cheaper. I don't think it's going to be $10 each.
I think
what I think
they need.
What I think is going to happen is we're still going to have the the single battle pass, right? But I think they're going to lower the price. I think it's like what EA do, where they put something up to such egregious levels, and then when they pull it back, it's like, well, it's not as bad.
The thing is,
I think we're going to get that.
My complaint against that though is like, this is a live service. They're going to be adding more characters.
Yeah,
and that is. Even if you lower it down to like $2, right?
Oh no, I'm not justifying this. All I'm saying is like the reason why I think they're like, oh, it's at $10 right now, and then because the ones that are on net right now are free.
This game could potentially have up to like 30 characters.
Yeah.
Right. Even if you lower it down to $2, that's still an extra $60.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I totally understand.
It's an absurd, egregious amount of extra money.
I totally understand, and I'm not justifying it. All I'm saying is like
that's what you think.
That's what I think they're going to do.
I personally think if they want to keep the battle passes in, then fine. But you charge a single fucking price.
Yeah, I would prefer
you charge a single fucking price.
I would rather them do the whole Destiny thing of like you get the battle pass with the expansion.
Yeah,
build an expansion.
Like say for example. The next they decide like the next thing is the Red Skull.
Yeah.
And what they do is like instead of charging you for a battle pass, they go the Red Skull is going. But again, they've said like all expansions are not going.
That's why I'm saying I would rather them be like, because they've said all new characters and all expansions are going to be free. So that's how, and they're doing the £10 things. The battle passes. That's how they're making the money. But like, I would rather them just have us pay for the expansions.
Yes.
Because a lot of the times, the expansions are pretty much like big things to go on the game.
Well,
in
regards to that, we don't know what
the Avengers are doing. They don't know what they're going to do.
We don't know what they're going to class as an expansion.
Exactly.
It could be literally like
every new character has a story.
Yeah, but also we could have a Trials of Osiris. We could have the thing of Osiris bullshit where it was a tiny friggin' thing.
I'll tell you something. Like, so Destiny, Mercury, you couldn't use your Sparrow.
Yeah.
And so now that Mercury is getting vaulted, so it's going away.
Yeah.
You can use your Sparrow.
No. Well, no, we said though the reason why they didn't use that, you didn't allow you to use your Sparrow, is because it was so small. Everyone would realise on the Sparrow how small it was, and you do because literally within about 10 seconds you've gone from one end of the map to the other on the Sparrow.
Yeah, you can get around it in about 20 seconds, all the way around.
Yeah, it's tiny.
It is just a circle.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that could be what they think is an expansion, a justifiable expansion.
That's true.
So, like. I would hold pause on like them, what they say is going to be an expansion, and charging that much for it.
Okay, anyway, we've been rambling on. We were supposed to finish.
We were supposed to finish.
Yeah. Anyway, tell us what you think about the EA situation and their absolute stupidness.
I mean, if someone can somehow defend what they're doing, by all means, try.
If anybody's played the multiplayer on Avengers, what do you think about it? What do you think about the single player? What do you like about the game? What do you dislike about the game? Anything you want to say about the stuff that we've talked about today, just leave a comment down below. And that's it from us. I do hope you've enjoyed this chat, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye now.
Toodles, everyone.